you to the Home Depot SEC on CBS in Knoxville, Tennessee. They arrive by boat. They arrive on foot. And the most significant pedestrian in his 17th year as the head coach, Philip Fulmer, as he forwards the ball walk through thousands of volunteer fans. There's a walk of a different nature for Tim Tebow and the Florida Gators. He meets his mom and dad. Several other members of the family are among the 100,000 who have gathered here for this SEC encounter between the Gators, who are ranked 4th in the country, and the Volunteers of Tennessee. Wins over UAB at home after the loss at UCLA. Good afternoon, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Gary Danielson and Tracy Wolfson. This ancient facility is one of the great settings in all of college football. Neyland is now in its 87th year. It's gone through a number of facelifts to keep it current. The most recent nip and tuck completed just as this season started, and the next is scheduled as soon as the season is over. More significantly, 100,000 fans who gather here regularly help provide a terrific home field advantage. Though they stumbled in this decade, they've lost 13 at home. Over the 87 years, the Volunteers have won 80% of their games. They go for win number 420 today. And one of the wonderful traditions, the opening of the tee, and the Volunteers take the field. Right behind them, the hated Gators from Gainesville. Urban Meyer undefeated against Philip Fulmer and Tennessee. Well, it's just your average Saturday afternoon. And Gary, we're going to talk a lot about the sophomore Heisman Trophy winner who is now a junior, and the numbers that Tim Tebow has posted in his brief career with Florida rush by almost more quickly than you can read them.
Pick a number, pick a category, Tim Tebow's name pops up. You know, you can feel the anticipation of a game when you're doing a game, even announcing a game with Tebow in it. But you know what? The defensive coaches around the country have been fast to work to come up with something to stop this guy. How about we say slowing the spread, attack Tim Tebow. Here it is against Miami. Even on running plays, Miami said, we're going right after this guy. You're going to see stunting linemen and linebackers that try to get in his face as fast as possible. Now remember, he's still Tebow, and he still makes plays, but the defensive coordinators have said, we can't let you stand back there. Here's a look that Miami employed. They dropped the 3 defensive linemen. They rushed the defensive linebackers and defensive backs. He still gets out of it and makes the play. But today, Tennessee will employ everything to stop this guy.
You know, the old adage in college football, he who runs the best wins the most,
yeah,
which makes this a staggering figure.
It
in
really
the last 2 games against Florida, the longest run for Tennessee, 6 yards.
And I'll tell you, that is an embarrassing number for Tennessee. And it's going to fall on these guys right here, the running backs. Foster, Hardesty, and Greer, they must come through. If Tennessee can't run the ball, they're going to lose it. I mean, this number, the numbers are really in this game are 6. CBS helped us out with some props here, okay?
I see that.
6 yards is their longest run from carry. Help me out, Vern. Give me another 6.
Bingo.
66 yards since Urban Meyer has come here. That's the most that this Tennessee has rushed for. And let's go back on the other side of the ball. Florida, they run 5 wide receivers. They have 6 wide receivers that run in the 4-3s. And help me out, they got 6 other guys on defense that run 4-4 or better. It's all about speed.
Notice that we have defined our roles. I hold almost all the cards. This game and all SEC college football games brought to you in crystal clear CBS high definition. Terrific afternoon, 81 degrees, winds out of the northeast at 9 miles per hour, and the forecast for continued warm and sunny. These 2 teams first met in 1916. Tennessee won the first 10. Florida has never been tied or led in the series. They have a chance to tie it this afternoon. Tennessee won the toss. They deferred. That means the kickoff will go deep. And Brandon James, one of the most important. Oh, he bobbles the ball. Well, forget what I was saying, but he's still a threat. Isn't he? Watch out. Out of bounds inside the 45.
By the way, he's one of the 12 guys that run under 4.4.
Bobble the kickoff.
Last year, remember, Vern, that game was a pretty close game. Brandon got involved. The punt team and the kickoff team is just loaded with guys that run fast and make plays. And that's how this Florida team, and that's why they're so dangerous.
52-yard kickoff return. His longest of the season. Previous best was 34. First down, Tebow. Percy Harvin alongside. Harvin in trouble, but he does manage to get 3 yards over the right side. And let's quickly check in with the third member of our team. Here's Tracy Wolfson.
Guys, as if Tennessee needed any more motivation for this game, Florida linebacker Brandon Spikes provided some bulletin board material this week. Spikes told the media that Tennessee quit last year. He said they gave up. He said, I know they're not as tough as us. Tennessee players quickly responding, saying, we're not quitters. When we asked Phil Fulmer if he used Spikes' quote to get a rise out of his players, he just smirked and said, we discussed it. Guys, you can bet he did.
And Emmanuel Moody is in the backfield. He's only got 2 carries for 2 yards this season. They ride Moody up the middle, and the transfer from USC got a first down to the 32-yard line. And let's take a look at the lineups presented by the Home Depot. First of all, at quarterback, the now familiar figure of Tim Tebow. Made his first significant play here on a 4th and 1 in a primetime game 2 years ago. Offensive line, Troutwine, Jim Tart back. Marquise Pouncey, his twin Mike, and Watkins at right tackle. Murphy, Harvin, and Cooper are the wideouts. Keyston Moore, the running back, and Hernandez, the tight end. But Moody started the game, and he is still in there. Number 21 gets the handoff again. Did not play in the win over Miami, and he gets back-to-back carries in this one.
You can see Florida is employing 2 tight ends early in this football game. You can see the importance Urban Meyer has put on running the football with this spread offense.
Meyer in his 4th season at Florida. 3-0 against Philip Fulmer. Only Steve Spurrier won 4 in a row. They seem to fit in the same cup.
You know, you can almost feel the pressure already on the Tennessee team. They need to hold to a field goal here.
Lewis Murphy breaks and goes wide right. Harvin is in the slot. It's 2nd down. Tate Casey is in as a tight end. A blitz threatened. They're coming. Tebow behind Riley Cooper. Defensively for the Volunteers. Defensively for the, I thought I said that. Brown, Bolden, Williams, and Ayers. The linebackers, Myers, White, Wilson, and McCoy. And in the secondary, and this is an outstanding secondary, Willingham, Berry, Morley, and Dennis Rogan. 3rd down, Brandon James is on. Blitz coming from the corner. Tebow shovel pass. That's good for a first down plus as Aaron Hernandez gets the little shovel and picks up the first down, a gain of 13.
When I was trying to prepare what my game plan would be if I was Florida, as you're going to see, Hernandez right here is going to come across for that little shovel pass. I thought they would try a lot of quick passes early. Get the ball out of Tebow's hands by design and try to figure out the blitz packages for Tennessee. So don't wait for the rush, kind of anticipate it.
Percy Harvin, offseason heel surgery, pronounced himself this week 100% for the first time since he was in the 10th grade. They faked the reverse. Tebow's caught for a loss at the corner. He had Harvin on the end around. And a flag has been dropped near the 18-yard line. Face mask, Tennessee. Referee today is Thomas Ritter.
And remember, there's only a 15-yarder. It'll be half the distance, but it'll be 1st and goal.
Personal foul, face mask, number 15 on the defense. happens, this is going automatic first down.
Well, this is exactly, obviously, I'm supporting this is exactly what Tennessee feared, I think.
That's true, but remember, the opening drive for Florida against Miami was very successful with a touchdown, and then after that, nothing happened.
They did go on to win it 26-3. Take Casey's in as a tight end. Cooper is to the near side with Murphy. He's up on the line now. Number 11. That's Harvin in motion. Tebow fakes it, keeps it, spins, and is caught at the 5-yard line. Wes Brown, number 94, with the tackle. Talk a little bit more about this Emmanuel Moody. Transfer from Southern Cal, sat out last week.
And he's still getting used to the spread offense, Vern. You talked to the coaches for Florida, but it was interesting. The first time they ran him, they moved the tight end into a fullback spot and just basically ran an I formation isolation play, something he was used to.
Brandon James is on the field now. And Carl Moore, junior college transfer, is split wide right. Second down and goal. Tebow fakes the toss. He'll keep it. And he's going to be caught and dropped at the 1-yard line. It'll be third down. D'Angelo Willingham, number 24, the cornerback, with the tackle.
Thought Rico McCoy also was in there, the linebacker. But, you know, again, it's fake counter, fake pitch, and then Tebow running up there. And you know what happens here is Tebow is not running like he ran as a fullback 2 years ago here, but he can't. He's the quarterback of the team.
Third down, and the ball spotted just outside the 2-yard line. Tebow jump pass, third time he's done it, third time he's gotten a touchdown. We have seen it each of the last 2 years. The jump pass, it brings back memories of Y.A. Tittle.
Really interesting that Florida knew that people had scouted them on this, but this time they gave it from a different formation. A new look, same play.
And the extra point about to be attempted by Jonathan Phillips, a senior who's getting his first extended action in his career. The kick is up, and it is good.
See, here's the new look. Before, the other player was right over here to the left side. Hernandez is lined up at the left tight end, and Tebow was much deeper. Now he lined up closer and then threw the jump pass.
Threes are lucky. 7-0 Florida. Tim Tebow leads the Gators quickly down the field. 8 plays, 44 yards after the 52-yard kickoff return. And the touchdown reception by Aaron Hernandez, his second touchdown of the year.
Now, this is getting old hat for you, isn't this jump pass? Yeah.
Well, I was looking for a
I think
new
you almost
analogy.
said another jump pass from Tebow.
We've seen all three.
Yeah. Hey, I tell you, the anticipation of Tebow playing, it's like a Mike Tyson fight when he was knocking out those guys in his prime. I mean, you got to watch it. You can't take your eyes off this guy.
Caleb Sturgis is the kickoff man, and this will be taken by Dennis Rogan at the 5. Runs into his own man and then is caught and dropped. Well, Tim Tebow now 3 for 3. The first we saw came against LSU. Remember this in 06? And the falling grab made. And then last year against Kentucky, fool me once, fool me twice. How about fool me 3 times? It's not like it's not in the repertoire. This is Aaron Hernandez with a catch. Tebow 3 for 3.
And Rocky Good called that game. He's in our booth, and he said he almost blew the whistle on that play when it happened the first time.
Yes, Rocky Good, one of the fine referees, is with us for the year. And here's Crumpton with the pass out of the backfield after the 35-yard line. Catch is made by Luke Stocker. Jonathan Crumpton out of Waynesville, North Carolina, getting his first full year as a starter, replacing the graduated Eric Ainge, and has had a modest season so far. Up front, Scott, Parker, McNeil, McClendon, and Ramon Foster. Gerald Jones Taylor are the wideouts, Stocker the tight end, Arian Foster is the running back, and Cooper the fullback. Now this is Jones in motion. Hand off, Foster comes right. And he's tackled at the 37-yard line. Joe Hayden, number 5. Whoop, flag. Yeah, we got a flag. And while we sort that out, let's check the Florida defense. Trateau, Marsh, Sanders, and Cunningham. It's a very young front four. Cunningham with 15 starts. Jones, Spikes, Ryan Stamper gets the start in place of the injured Dustin Doe. Wandy, Pierre-Louis, Black, Mike, Major Wright, and Joe Hayden in the secondary.
Yeah, he had to be pulled back. He was upset. He thought it was on his team, or he was telling his team they're doing a good job. He thought.
Foul, personal foul, number 27. Offense, 15-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Yeah, you know, I think sometimes you can get into your team's head about this quitting stuff, and they overreact. This time it was Foster. I think Urban Meyer. I kind of wish the referees would have made that a no call or a call on both sides. 3rd and 1 and now 3rd and 15. I thought Foster got up talking. You know, that's a big difference here.
Montario Hardesty is in the backfield now. 2nd and 15. Blitz coming by Florida from the backside. And a beautiful open field tackle. That is a catch and a fumble and a recovery by Florida.
Boy. You could see the lineman throw his beanbag. He definitely called it a catch. A safe play, 3rd and long. Tennessee says, we're not going to give you anything cheap down here. The ball, 1, 2, 3. Absolutely. I think that's going to be called correctly, and Major Wright had the big hit on that one.
Janoris Jackson also there, number 29.
It was Janoris Jackson. You're right. I'm so used to seeing that number 28 make those hits.
Hardesty with the fumble. Let's look at it in regular speed, Gary.
Catches it 1, 2, and then turns it around. I think that's going to be upheld.
Recovery by Florida, 1st down.
Janoris Jackson, who is a true freshman. 5'10", 185-pounder, number 29, who has seen significant action. And Hardesty with the fumble.
And Jenkins got that hit. Now, if you're Philip Fulmer, you might want to challenge just because it's such a huge play. I know it's being reviewed, but wouldn't you? Coach Fulmer says nope, he's going to trust the guy in the box.
Tebow pulls it back and fires toward the end zone. It's overthrown for Percy Harvin. It'll be 2nd down. Janoris Jenkins, not Jackson, Jenkins made the hit that forced the fumble.
Yeah, Jenkins is the true freshman player that came.
Flag is down at the 27.
Now remember, there's no warning for sideline.
Sideline interference against Florida. That's 5 yards. 2nd down.
Yeah, no warning anymore.
No warning. It's a 5-yard penalty. We've heard that the coaches like this. I don't know why. I honestly, I don't know why. I've tried to ask a few. They say they just, why warn us? But it seems to me that that's something I'd like to be warned with once.
2nd down, 15. Harvin in motion. Tebow drills it to the left side. Murphy is caught and dropped for a loss. Brent Vinson, number 13, who started 10 games as a defensive back last year, sat out the first game this year, academic reasons, and has now worked his way back into the rotation.
He has, and he's an athlete, played wide receiver, as you said, when he began his career for Tennessee, but that's pretty simple. There should be a slip block by a tackle or somebody on that. If you hit it, it's a big play, but the combination of the penalty for the sideline warning and that stop has really made it 3rd and long.
Keyston Moore split in the slot to the left. Now that's Moore who moves. Tebow back, good blocking. Nobody open. He throws it. Oh my gosh. How about that
was awesome.
risky play?
That was awesome. And, you know, that could be the difference of a field goal. That could be a three-point play right there. Now, these are one of the ones, I tell you, I never do it because I just love these type of plays, is when if it doesn't go, you say, come on, be careful with the ball, manage the, God, forget it, don't manage the game, make some plays. That is awesome because that turns us into a 39-yard field goal?
Jonathan Phillips, fifth-year senior, is 1 for 1 in his career. And this will be from 39 to make it 10-zip. Phillips now 2 for 2 in his final season at Florida. Kickoff return, special teams. Jenkins with the forced fumble on Hardesty, and it leads to a field goal for Jonathan Phillips. 10-zip, Florida. Special profile on Carson Palmer tomorrow. Florida leads at 10-zip.
Turns out, Vern, Carson was pretty accurate with his portrayal of USC and against Ohio State, wasn't he, when he talked all that?
Yes.
Pretty right on.
Here's the kick. Rogan grabs it a yard deep. He will bring it back onto the field, and he pays the price. He is cut down at the 17-yard line. Will Hill made the tackle. Freshman from West Orange, New Jersey, number 10. Will the thrill.
Yeah.
Will. I just can't resist it.
I don't. You know, Vern, I thought that maybe Tennessee early in this game would try to pull a Georgia against Florida. You know, they've had sand kicked in their face, and they might try to say, we're not going to take this anymore. But the quick kickoff return and now the turnover, it's thrown them out of their game again.
This is Arian Foster, who gets into the secondary of Florida.
And guess what?
Yes.
A 7-yard, 8-yard, 9-yard run?
9-yard.
Wow.
Longest run in 2 years and 1 quarter by Tennessee.
Yeah, when I watched the tape of the UCLA-Tennessee game, I really felt that Tennessee gave up on the run too quickly. I thought they felt they had that game and they could kind of do some things. UCLA admirably came back, obviously. But I think Tennessee's best when they run the ball and play action pass and bootleg with Compton.
On second and short, handoff. Foster goes left, and we'll have enough for the first down out near the 33-yard line. Jonathan Crompton, 1 start prior to this season, and he's been a little inconsistent, Gary.
Yeah, I think so. What I think they've come to realize about Jonathan is he has a big arm. Even this pass, that's a pretty good pass that gets picked off. But he's got to learn still to play quarterback. He's not seeing the whole field and all of the different secondaries and what they're trying to do to him, so they're going to limit him. They're going to trade play-action passes and throw deep balls, I predict.
Arian Foster in the backfield. They fire it out to Gerald Jones, and he can't quite escape the tackle of Wandy Louis-Pierre. Brandon Spikes, after Louis-Pierre held him up, got back there, and that's an 8-yard gain.
Well, there really is the guy. Tennessee will tell you, anybody you talk to around the Tennessee program, this is the guy, Gerald Jones. If this offense is going to be what they want it to be, Jones is going to have to be the playmaker. He's the one guy, I hate to say it, but it's true, that is like the Florida guys.
Doesn't have quite the speed, though, right?
Well, he's pretty fast. I think he's the 4.4 range.
Okay.
Look at
Nice
that play.
tackle. Wow. That's Brandon Spikes.
Yeah, he can do more than talk. If you watch Brandon Spikes play football, you know, I've been watching and involved in football a long time. Those linebackers that talk a lot tackle a lot. There's just something about it.
Well, he's not talking now because he's the one who said that Tennessee quit last year. And
I think maybe the word might have been concede. You know, at the end of that game, they knew it was over. I don't know if quit is fair.
Well,
but,
at any rate, Urban Meyer said you're now off limits to the press.
Well, he's not off limits to this game.
He's now under a gag order. Play fake. Crompton almost intercepted.
Guess who? Boy, they were all over that. I mean, there was no one to throw that football to. Play action pass. Now think about this again. 3rd and 1.5 yards. Tennessee gives the credit to the Florida defense and says we're going to go play action pass. They've got their great running back in the game, Foster. They're going to go play action pass, and there is nothing there. And that ball just knocked down and had no chance to complete at that time.
And now Brandon James is joined deep. Two-man back. James top of the screen. And the punter, Chad Cunningham, has not had a quick start to the season. He's already had one blocked and returned for a touchdown. That at UCLA. This is nice, high, and deep. Brandon James. Watch out. There are no flags. Brandon James, Florida touchdown. 78 yards.
The athletic players, the difference between right now, just watching it, of the Florida players and the Tennessee players is just like you're watching a game in 2007. It looks exactly the same. And Percy Harvin, by the way, is on the punt team, and he's one of the guys that made the blocks to free a guy, Brandon James, on that play.
Extra point by Phillips is up and good. He's done it again.
Yeah, it's not that Tennessee's not trying. They just can't get close to him right now.
Earlier this season, James returned one 74 yards. This one 78. That's Philip Fulmer. .442 to go opening quarter. This one has been all Florida.
Yeah, Tennessee's defense had a nice stop. You know, they do their job. The kickoff return, now a punt return. Now, Urban Meyer has predicted that his punt return team will be dynamic all year. He's got athletes. You know, when you have Percy Harvin on your punt team, and they've got the other guys out there too. You know, I mean, it's just not Harvin. They got receivers all over. Demps is out there. Rainey's out there. You know, they've got probably 6 guys that run 4-3-4-4.
Caleb Sturgis with the kickoff. And this is going to be taken by Rogan. Comes right out across the 25. Tackle made by John Jones, number 30. Well, Volunteers have somehow got to find a way to get back in this. You got any suggestions?
Well, I think a mistake would be to ask Jonathan Crompton to do too much. I think the best way to look at this is let's try to chip away, even if it takes the rest of this half. Let's try to get this thing down to, you know, score a touchdown sometime in this half and try to slow down Florida. I don't think you can try to keep going serve for serve with Florida.
Arian Foster cuts right, then goes back to the left and picks up a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Matt Patchen, number 71, and Ryan Stamper, number 41, are in there. As Charlie Strong, the defensive coordinator at Florida, has gone to his rotation early in this game. There's Charlie Strong. Been a standout at the Gators for the Gators. Shared these responsibilities with Greg Madison, who elected to go into the NFL. So Charlie is the only defensive coordinator on this team now. 2nd down and 8.
It's the G gun now with Gerald Jones at quarterback.
They'll run this formation 7 or 8 times. And Jones will take the direct snap. Florida rushes 4. The handoff to Foster is going to be 3rd and long. And let's go back to the studio for this Liberty Mutual update. Here is Tim Brendo.
All right, Vern, really a pretty good intersectional matchup. Miami leading Texas A&M. This is the 2nd touchdown rushing for Greg Cooper. Long distance information. He's from Memphis, Tennessee. 51 yards, so Miami leads it by 7. No Stephen McGee at quarterback, out with that shoulder. Gerard Johnson quarterbacking for the Aggies. Vern?
All right, Tim, thank you. 3rd and 3 here. Volunteers find themselves down by 17. Jones, or Crompton rather, comes right, and the catch is made by Jones. The tackle is made by Joe Hayden. Joe Hayden came to this team recruited as a wide receiver, high school quarterback. And last year, he realized that his best chance of getting on the field was to switch to defensive back.
Yeah.
And he's one of the best now.
You know what is interesting when we talked to him, what he said is, I asked him, do you feel comfortable there yet? When you look yourself in the mirror, what do you see? And he says, you know, last year I felt like an offensive guy, an athlete playing defense. Now I feel like a defensive player.
One of 5 boys. His brother plays running back at Boston College. Great pressure. The pass is released over the middle. That should be another first down. Brandon Warren, who took a circuitous path to this Tennessee uniform. He signed out of college with Florida State. Freshman All-American. Came back home because his mother had a bout with cancer. And here's Warren.
Yeah, he just comes underneath the formation right there. Lines up in the slot. He made freshman All-American as tight end. But in this offense, offensive coordinator David Clawson is going to use him as kind of an H-back.
And that is a first down, Tennessee at the 49-yard line. Flags thrown. Little screen pass out to the left. Now we'll see about the infraction. It's Brandon Warren again. Just to quickly complete that story while we ponder the flag.
Yeah.
Warren had, he was not released from his commitment by Florida State. Bobby Bowden said no. He appealed. He attended a community college here in Knoxville while that appeal was in the process, and he was finally granted a release.
Offside, and 49, defense, 5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
And so, a week ago, he made his long-awaited appearance on the field, and they expect big things out of him.
Yeah, you know, when you watch him in practice, he is very smooth. He's very comfortable with the ball in the air and running under the ball and grabbing it. So he can be a weapon, another weapon for this Tennessee offense.
There's Foster, tries to get outside, and can't.
You talk to coaches about this this Florida defense. Kind of reminds you of the old Miami defenses.
Right.
They kind of corner you in because their defensive backs have such speed on the running plays. They almost get 10 hats there. I mean, they're just right there right away. I think the way you got to go at them is you got to attack their corners. We talked to coordinator Clawson from Tennessee. He says, you know, we're not going to beat this team with 3- and 4-yard runs. It just won't happen.
Here's the G-gun formation again for the 3rd time. And Jones heads left, cracks the 40. First down, Tennessee.
See,
that's a gain of 9.
Yeah, that's the wrinkle they need. They need something else to take Florida out of their game. When Eric Ainge was the quarterback last year, they used Jones a bit, but he was injured. He had, I guess it was a shoulder. I'm trying to remember last year. You know, we saw him against LSU in the SEC championship game. He scored a touchdown on that game. But now you can keep this defense a bit off balance with different types of formations.
Crompton back in at quarterback. I formation. Montario Hardesty is in as the running back. Number 2, Crompton. He's 5 of 6. Make it 6 of 7. And another Tennessee first down inside the 25. Denarius Moore makes the catch, number 6, in front of Wandy Pierre-Louis.
The Florida defensive backs are playing more off coverage. They're playing man-to-man. Last year they played more bump and run. The strategy this year has been to move them back and trying to get them involved in the ball in front of them. Good play calling by Tennessee to take advantage of that technique.
Hardesty had a great game, the first game of the season out in Los Angeles against UCLA. He's the more physical back, and he gets the handoff, comes right, and works his way down to the 15-yard line. Joe Hayden, Brandon Spikes combined for the tackle, but a little bit of life in Tennessee now.
Absolutely.
That's the end of the first quarter, with Tennessee threatening, though they trail by 17. We'll return to Neyland Stadium after this message and this word from your local station. More than 100,000 here in Neyland. Florida has jumped out to a 17-0 lead, though Tennessee threatens. Gary, how about the first quarter?
Yeah, it turned around on the first play. Dropped the ball. We're all worried that nothing good is going to happen for Florida. And what happens? An athletic player makes the Florida play, leads to Vern's favorite play, which is now kind of old hat. And then you get the punt return by James again that really got Phil Fulmer saying, what are we going to do wrong next? He said in the first game versus UCLA, we made enough mistakes to lose more than one game. They're there again.
2nd down and 1, though, for Tennessee. Montario Hardesty is the running back. Crompton gives it off to Hardesty, runs into his own man, and then spins and gets the first down. A.J. Jones with the tackle. Anthony Parker, number 75, impeded the progress.
Yeah, that's you know, that offensive line for Tennessee is where the strength of that offense is. 97 starts coming into this season. They're the most experienced offensive line in the league.
Gerald Jones is back in, and the G. No, it's Crompton. I beg your pardon. We've got to keep watching 4 and 8, and Tennessee was a little confused, along with certain announcers.
Good old Vern?
Yeah.
I think they had a wrong formation there. That's why they called timeout.
Now mark this moment. This is one of the few times you're going to watch the Volunteer Band and not hear Rocky Top.
Yes, this is the other song they know.
Average in-game performance of Rocky Top, 38. We've established that over the years. We're in the 2nd quarter.
Vern, 9 plays so far in this drive for Tennessee. Ideal run pass, 6 runs, 3 pass. I think that's about perfect.
Crompton, the quarterback, 2 receivers to the left side. Handed off. Hardesty. Nope. And Brandon Spikes in the middle of things.
When we talked to David Clausen, he was very concerned about getting to Spikes. He said, I really want our guard and center to push together the front guy and then get to Spikes later. He said, because those defensive tackles are as good as I've seen as redirecting off of blocks and getting into the backfield. So he says, let's assure the line of scrimmage and then get to Spikes.
2nd down, officially still 10. Movement of the line, contact made, and a flag thrown by the umpire. Looked like Vladimir Richard, one of the guards, moved, but let's see. Thomas Ritter with a call, and from the applause from the offensive line of Tennessee.
Dead ball. Offside. Defense. The defender was in the neutral zone, causing a false start. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Now remember, the offense can't move first, but if the defense draws them off, that is a good call right there. And a big play for Tennessee because now they put it in manageable position. And remember, they can get a first down.
Toss. Foster goes right and runs right into a couple of Gators. The first of whom was Joe Hayden, the second of whom was A.J. Jones.
Justin Tratto did such a good job that time, number 94, the defensive end. He refused to get hooked on the play and turned it back inside so everybody else could make the play. Tratto, we saw him last year, a very young player. He's put on weight now, probably put on 15 to 20 pounds, and now he's a legitimate defensive end.
3rd down, 5. Volunteers attempting to get on the board. They trail by 17. Blitz, Florida. Crompton across the middle. Caught short of the first down. Well, no, wait a minute. He may have gotten it with that effort.
He did.
That's the tight end, Luke Stocker. And by struggling and refusing to give up after the tackle was first made, he might have given Tennessee a 1st and goal.
Yeah, and they think he's going to be a really good player despite what happened last week. There he is right there. Middle of the field is open. Throw him a 2-yard pass and let the big guy take it for a first down. That's how you play football. Stocker had 2 or 3 drops last week, but the coach is all set. He is going to be an outstanding tight end for us.
Yeah, Philip Fulmer went out of his way in our conversation yesterday to point out that Stocker had lost no stock despite his 3 drops. 1st and goal, Volunteers.
Verna, I wonder who Tennessee will go with here. Foster, who's had all those troubles. Remember those fumbles he's had? Right. Or will they go with Hardesty, who seems to be a better downhill runner?
It's going to be Foster. Foster fumbled at the 6 against UCLA. Like it or not, he has gotten that reputation, and he doesn't like it. Foster, left side. Yard or 2. Well, everyone who bleeds orange here remembers the fumble at the 6 against UCLA, but in 05 against South Carolina, he fumbled, and the Vols lost by 1. In the Outback Bowl, another fumble, and the Vols lost by 10. And then this season, they were going in to make it 21-7, and Arian Foster had the misfortune of the fumble in. He was wearing number 30 in that game as a tribute to his teammate David Holdred. Crompton is the quarterback. This is the 14th play of this drive. It is Foster at tailback. Fumble. That was not Foster.
My.
Crompton. And Florida has recovered.
Foster's got to say, what am I, jinxed or something? Last year, Eric Ainge hands it off to him left-handed. This time, Jonathan Crompton, I think he hit the fullback.
Yes.
I think he hit Kevin Cooper on the hip. And that is the first thing in fundamentals you're taught as a quarterback, is keep that ball close to you and let the fullback clear. Oh, what a self-inflicted wound.
And looks of disbelief from Philip Fulmer.
Well, let's take a look at it again. I'll show you how the train wreck happened. The guard pulled a little slow, and the fullback, Kevin Cooper, did the wrong assignment. When he goes and pulls out, he kind of runs into the blocking guard and actually gets into Crompton's way. That was the train wreck.
And so, after 8 minutes and 6 seconds, nothing. And now Florida has it. Tebow in the end zone. He'll keep it, and he gets maybe a yard. And I just can't imagine, Gary, the degree of exasperation for Philip Fulmer and this entire volunteer group. 8 minutes, 14 plays, Zippola.
It's hard to really, I've been in a lot of these things on the losing end like this. There's an air of negativity about the team when you go into the game, and then you play right into it. And then you start to say, maybe everybody's right here, and it just starts snowballing down the hill, and Tennessee has to get this arrested very quickly.
Agreed. Well, second down now, and Tebow again is in the end zone. He has it, goes left, and he's out near the 10, short of the 10, and it'll be third down. Dennis Rogan with the first contact.
See, now, normally I think Florida and Dan Mullen, their offensive coordinator, spends time thinking about managing the hits on Tebow. Okay, we got to last the whole year and all that stuff. But this is Tennessee, and this is one of their toughest road games on the schedule. I think they're going to sacrifice as many hits as they need for Tebow to win the game, and I agree with them 100%. This isn't UAB. This is Tennessee.
Tennessee defeated UAB here, and timeout is called by Tim Tebow as the play clock winding down. Early moments, second quarter. CBS Sports coverage of the Home Depot SEC continues after this word from your local station. Be a part of the action with free college fantasy football. Create your team now at collegefootball.cbssports.com. 8 minutes and 6 seconds. Time of possession for the Volunteers. They get down inside the 5 and fumble the ball away. And now 3rd and 3, Florida at the 10. Percy Harvin in the backfield. Tebow joins him.
Like to run the option when he's in there.
Tebow keeps, cuts. He's got the first down after the 15. And let's go down to Tracy Wolfson. Trace?
Guys, no surprise, there's a lot of frustration on this Tennessee sideline. Gary, you mentioned it. This is in UAB. Well, center Josh McNeil came off screaming, banging his helmet, saying, come on, guys, we're in the SEC. Let's play like it. Remember, Fulmer told us yesterday this team has no leadership, and that concerns him. And, guys, this is the time they need a leader to step up and take over.
All right, Trace. He said that the leadership right now, the emotion and the energy was coming from the staff as opposed to the players, and he needed someone to emerge to take that role. First down and 10, Percy Harvin. Here's the option.
Yeah,
and you call that. And Harvin.
Look at this.
Pretty nifty, isn't he? Dennis Rogan with the tackle. Ben Martin was second there, and we go back to the third. Tim Brenda.
Excuse me, fellas, I've got a little fly swatting to do, okay? We lost Fresno State last week, East Carolina this week, but BYU's getting it done. Max Hall, 7 yards to Austin Collie, his second touchdown catch of the day. They've scored 86 points in a row, and Utah, another fly in the ointment, leading Air Force 7-0. Utah and maybe even Tulsa working their way into the mix, Vern. Back to you.
Well, Tim, I think you've gone from 4 flies to 2 now, right?
Oh, yeah. Tulsa's an interesting team.
Yes.
You know, they're going to be in it. They're going to score points. They finished late with East Carolina towards the end of the season, I think. That'll be an interesting game.
Second down. Florida leads 17-0. Harvin still on the field. Here's the corner blitz. There's the option to Harvin. And he is keel-hauled as he gets up near the 30-yard line, but that's going to be another first down. 9-yard gain. Walter Fisher with the tackle.
Watch how disciplined Aaron Hernandez is, number 81 on this option play. He's lined up right here. He's going to pass the first guy. Now, most guys say, all right, I'm going to block him. He goes, that's the quarterback's guy. Runs right by him. Tebow makes the pitch and makes the play. That is discipline. That is hard to do. Great job, Aaron Hernandez.
Harvin is out. Emmanuel Moody in as the running back. There's a flag in the backfield. Tebow keeps up to the 40-yard line. If the play stands, and I don't think it will, it would be a Florida first down. Yep, it's going to come back.
Well, both teams are making mistakes. Florida is making these itsy-bitsy little ones, and Tennessee's making these gigantic mistakes. Who's winning? 17-0.
Illegal shift on the offense. 2 players moving and did not get set for 1 second. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, one of the 2 was Emmanuel Moody, the Southern Cal transfer. Sat out last year, a young man from Coppell, Texas. Seemed to be taking his lack of playing time so far this year in stride. Didn't seem to be upset.
Urban Meyer, despite the spread, is kind of an old school coach. You got to earn your time.
Here's the option.
Nothing there.
No, not at all. Great job defensively for the Volunteers, and Alex Wilson, number 35, playing middle linebacker at 5'10", 225.
All right,
nice job.
Excuse me, Vern. We talked about Hernandez. Now watch Aaron Myers-White. He's just outside of your picture on this one, bottom of the screen. He comes up. Let's stop it right there. See, he takes the pitch man and he lets the next guy take the quarterback. That's assignment football on defense. Both teams, when you're running option football, the offense has an assignment. You can't deviate. And the defense, Adams-White, he doesn't even go and try to tackle Tebow. He goes for the pitch man. Great
See
defense.
the number, excuse me, Gary.
Yep.
6 for 15 on the ground. Here's a dead ball infraction. Keyston Moore.
I think Urban called a timeout, did he not?
Well, there's a flag down as well. Let's see.
Yes, I think Urban beat it.
Prior to the snap, there was a timeout called by Florida. That is their second charge timeout. There is no foul for an illegal shift. Timeout occurred before the snap.
I wish both in college and pro football they would go back to the rule where the players on the field call timeout.
We're back at Neyland Stadium. Now let's take a look at Home Depot's tools for success. You remember the A-team with George Peppard and Mr. T were here?
I do.
You do?
I do.
I'm so glad.
Not all of it, but I remember the music. So let's go the tools on the G team here are fast. They're high-speed power drills. This time has been Brandon James so far that has been the most used tool, but they've got 5 or 6 of them on what we like to call the G team here for the Gators, and they're all over the field, guys that can run and make this Gator attack go.
Brandon James had a punt return of 78 yards earlier in this ball game. It is his second career punt return against Tennessee. Second down at 18, midway through the second stanza. 3 men down, Volunteers up the middle. Emmanuel Moody goes, and he's out across the 25 to the 26. Nevin McKenzie, number 20, alternates playing time with Adam Myers-White is there, and a flag is down, late flag. Thomas Ritter.
We have 2 unsportsmanlike fouls. Number 16, offense. Number 24, defense. Those penalties offset, 3rd down.
Carl Moore for the Volunteers, or rather for the Gators, number 16, and D'Angelo Willingham, number 24. There has been a little bit of a chippy attitude.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, you know, almost all football games are, but you're right. I mean, and plus you've been beaten down the last couple of years so bad by this team, and if you look up at the scoreboard, it's happening again.
This guy was one of the heroes of that come-from-behind victory, this guy being Tebow. They came from behind and won it here in prime time 2 years ago, 21-20. Here's Tebow back. Drills it deep. First deep attempt, and Harvin has it for a first down at the 40-yard line. 34-yard game. Demetrius Morley finally caught up and made the tackle.
Urban Meyer was very upset with his offensive line and all the pressure that Miami put on him. Now watch him here. They're going to stunt. They're going to come in, 4-man rush. Rico McCoy comes in, and look at that nice pocket right here. Now you can use the G team. When your quarterback can run in there, step up, and make one of those throws, there's not a secondary in college football that's going to slow down these wide receivers. And Tebow is becoming not just an underrated passer. Most of the defensive coordinators now are saying he's a good enough passer to win beyond all the stuff that he does running the ball.
And a face mask at the end, so the ball now at the 25-yard line. Remember, this drive began following a fumble by Tennessee at the 3-yard line. Here's Moody, nothing. Emmanuel Moody getting extensive playing time in this ball game. Alex Wilson, number 35, with the tackle.
You know, Wes Brown did a good job on that play, too. One of those defensive ends that they've got 4 of them here. Brown and Ayers and Martin and Walker.
Percy Harvin back on the field. He's in the slot to the left.
I think he's is he a tailback?
You're right. That's James out there.
Yes.
Here's Harvin. Percy Harvin telling the media in Florida he's 100%. He had heel surgery in North Carolina back in April. It had bothered him, and the heel was initially it was a tendonitis, they thought, right?
Yeah.
And led to knee problems and hip problems, and finally had the surgery, and he said he's feeling better than he has since he was in the 10th grade.
Can you imagine the coaches that faced him last year now find out that he's 100%?
Yes.
Oh, really? Oh.
3rd and 3. Keyston Moore is the running back now. That's Aaron Hernandez, who sets up to the left side. Lead blocker, Tebow back. Under some pressure, goes in the corner. Jump ball, and it's incomplete. Carl Moore, the intended receiver, and Dennis Rogan was there.
Not sure who covered the tight end slipping in on that one. Tebow was forced to lob this ball. It wasn't pretty, was it? Moore made a big controversial catch against Miami that kept that drive open. And I think it was Eric Berry that jumped on that tight end and took away the first throw from Tebow.
Interesting now, you've got a 5th-year senior as your place kicker who is performing for the first time on the road in front of 100,000. You're looking at 4th and 3, and timeout has been called by Florida. They use their final timeout to decide if they want to try the field goal or go for the first down or touchdown. Chippiness defined.
Tim Brando in New York coming up with the Geico halftime report. Spencer Tillman and I will get you caught up on all of today's action, including one fly in the ointment biting the dust. As NC State's Andre Brown takes it in from 10 yards out in overtime, North Carolina State with a big win. Now back to Florida, Tennessee.
Where Urban Meyer has decided to go for the first down or the touchdown. He eschews the field goal from 36 yards, and Tim Tebow has Keyston Moore in the backfield. He comes to the right. 4th and 3. Motion, more motion, flags down. The pass is incomplete, but they might have drawn them across the neutral zone.
That's inexcusable. Inexcusable. The only thing on 4th and less than 5, the last thing you tell your defense is don't give them the cheap first down. They're going to probably try to draw us sides on the play, and if Tennessee jumped, it's just inexcusable. Now, not saying it happened yet. It could be on Florida.
Ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
That had to be a flinch. They'll go field goal for sure now. Let's see if we can watch anybody flinch. Boy, I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I thought the Tennessee defender, after secondly, at the end of it, there was a change when I think Wes Brown went into the line. But at first, I thought Tennessee was in the neutral zone.
Here's Phillips. First game on the road, the senior. It's up from 40 yards, and it is good. Well, we will ponder the question for a moment now. Who flinched?
Yeah, it had to be the right side. It wasn't the left side.
Monday, Dave's All New with former President Clinton and Chris Rock. Plus Wednesday, don't miss presidential nominee Senator John McCain. It's only on CBS. False start called against the Florida line. And the Gators settle for a field goal. 12 plays, 74 yards, 6:53. And Florida now 3 possessions in the first half, 3 scores, a touchdown and 2 field goals.
Yeah, with the new clock rules, you're only getting about 8, maybe 9 possessions a game.
Caleb Sturgis, and this one is very, very short, taken at the 20-yard line, near side. And the tackle made at the 37-yard line. Let's go back and revisit the call.
Now, there's no doubt that movement happened here first, okay? But secondly, Mike Pouncey moves. Let's watch. Now, top of the screen movement. Does he get back? And then bottom of the screen, there's going to be movement from Tennessee that Pouncey moves on. Oh, that was, I actually thought Tennessee caused both of those movements.
After Brandon Warren's kick return with that short kickoff from the 39, Arian Foster is the deep back in the eye. Crompton, the quarterback, hands it off to Foster, has a little bit of room, and gets out to the 45-yard line, gain of 6.
So now look at the difference between an Eric Ainge team with a 5th-year senior or true senior, whichever one he was, a 4-year player, with Jonathan Crompton. Ball on the 40-yard line, trailing 20-0. They run the ball off tackle because they're not quite sold on what Crompton can do, even so much so they're going to put Gerald Jones at quarterback.
And Crompton is lined up wide to the right, top of the screen. So the G-gun formation for the Volunteers, 4th or 5th time that they've tried this one, on 2nd down. McNeil snaps it well.
Oh, they're going to get a delay. They're going to get a delay.
Yep.
This is just a disaster for Tennessee. I mean, when we came into this town, Vern, I don't know if you could sense it, but on the airplane, you know, I usually travel around, you know, the Southeast Conference, and everywhere I go, you can
Prior
tell.
to the snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, remain 2nd down.
All the fans wearing their school colors are kind of talking up and bragging. As you can see the play clock going down and no snap, kind of bragging on their team. It's kind of fun. But the Tennessee fans had nothing to say before this game. They did not believe before this game started, and they're being proven right.
Well, it's the G-gun formation again. Crompton going to try the same play. The handoff, no, it's no handoff. It's Jones who shakes a tackle and squirts out to the 49, perhaps the 50-yard line. Brandon Spikes with the tackle. Well, 2 turnovers in this ball game, both recovered by the Gators.
Yeah,
the first.
It was bad, wasn't it, Vern? I mean, a give-up play for a screen right there. A sure scoring play on 2nd and goal, not counting the punt return. It's just a disaster. Now remember, Tennessee's got the ball here to end the half with plenty of time, and they get it to start the half.
And again, for the 2nd play in a row, Crompton, the quarterback, normally is wide right. Here's Jones, tucks it, comes left. Ryan Stamper is there to make the tackle, and it'll be 2nd down. We'll have time to spend a moment with Tim Brando in New York.
Vernon, Gary, we talked earlier today on the College Football Today about the Pac-10's Black Saturday a week ago. Well, it's continuing. Oregon without their starting quarterback, yes, but Kellen Moore to Tommy Gallarda, 2nd hookup. Boise State rolling Oregon 24-6 in the 2nd. Vern?
All right, Tim, 2 timeouts remaining for Tennessee. And here's Crompton back at quarterback, lofts it up. That almost was picked off.
It was deflected up front, I believe.
Crompton getting some pressure from Dustin Doe, number 32. He was questionable to go in this game.
Yeah, one of the new packages that I see more from this Florida team than the past is big Carlos Dunlap, number 8, the big, tall guy who's being pushed a bit for playing time by Justin Tratteau, is that they're playing a little more zone blitz, a little more off coverages.
And it'll be 3rd down and 11. 2:19 to go, first half. Hardesty and Foster back with Crompton. Right side, incomplete. Flag count. Might have a face mask.
Had to be.
Looked like Major Wright, number 21, might have grabbed Lucas Taylor with the mask.
And all he had to do was be patient. Well, if they call that pass interference. Now, I thought that ball zipped by before he grabbed him. Nothing you can do about it. It's unreviewable.
Pass interference, number 21, defense. The ball would be placed at the spot of the foul, 1st down.
Now, let's go left side of your screen. Major Wright is chasing. Ball goes by, his left arm's not on there, and the ball's past him, and then he jumps on him. Now, the official came from the Tennessee bench. You know he heard it over there when he made that call.
Here's Crompton. Pass is complete at the 45. And the receiver down to the 43 is Arian Foster out of the backfield, and Joe Hayden makes the tackle. Hurry up offense now for the Volunteers. We're under 2 minutes to go in the first half. 1:55 and the clock running. Again, Foster and Hardesty on either side of Crompton. 5-man rush. They go deep. They've got a man, but it's picked off. Joe Hayden with the interception. He goes left, and he's got some blocking help. Down the sidelines, out of bounds, plenty of time for the Florida Gators. There is a flag
12 men on the
downfield.
Florida had 12 men on the field. Florida had 12 men on the field. There's no doubt about it. First thing I do when I'm up here as a quarterback, I go over my protections. 4-3-4 is how I think, and it was 4-4-4. Tough
Illegal
defense.
participation on the defense. 12 players at the snap. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
Last person I heard use that phrase was Moses Malone when they were going to the NBA championship.
Well, listen, 2 big breaks for Tennessee, okay? There you go. You're going to see 12. 4 guys here, 4 linebackers, and then 4 defensive backs around the backside. 4, 4, 4. Now, listen, a big break on a pass interference. I don't think that was the right call. Now a break on an interception. And by the way, a terribly thrown ball. That was wide open for a touchdown. Crompton should have put some air on it. So now 2 breaks. They might and must put points on the board.
1:29 to go before the break. Blitz. Crompton Deep right side again, and this one's badly overthrown.
Wrong side of the field, too. That is the problem. You talk to the people at Tennessee, is Jonathan has not come along far enough in his reads. Right here, there's the free safety. He's going to read Crompton all over. Look at double team on this side. He runs out of it, goes the wrong way. Free safety in the middle. The extra defensive back was to that side. He needed to go to the wide side of the field. 2nd and 10. Crompton 8 of 11. An interception just negated and a badly thrown ball on the misread. 1:21 to go before. Blitz again. Crompton comes near side. Caught at the 10. Down to the 5. Josh Briscoe, number 81. You know, before the game, Josh Briscoe was the one Tennessee player that was just giving it to his teammates. The senior comes off very patient, nice square route, and he just puts the ball and takes the ball over Woody Pierre-Louis right there. Nice throw, nice execution. Time has been called with 1:13 to go. On the sideline, Urban Meyer. In excess of 100,000 here at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. Coming up at the half, the Geico halftime report. We'll head back to New York. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman, scores and highlights from around the country. Well, Josh Briscoe, one of the senior leaders on this team, and about 2 hours before kickoff, players huddled in the middle of the field, and in the center of all of them, Josh Briscoe. Yep, there he is right there, telling them all, listen, forget about everybody else. It's us out here. Play our game. I didn't hear it, but that's kind of what I would say. I'll go with you. Now, do you bring Arian Foster on the field, or do you go G-gun here? That's very interesting, the calls that's going to happen. It's Hardesty, isn't it? Yes. Yes. Montario Hardesty is the only back behind Jonathan Crompton. 1st and goal from the 5. Hardesty. That's the way to run it. Bangs down to the 2.5. Yeah, they can run the ball because they have time and a timeout. That's that downhill running that we used to watch Tennessee do for years and years and years with all those great tailbacks. Inside the 2. 52 seconds to go before the break. Arian Foster on the bench. Hardesty, the junior from New Bern, North Carolina, is in the backfield. 40 seconds to go. Hardesty, no. Got to use the timeout now, don't they? Well, if you use it, you can't run the ball. If they could hurry up and call the play. See, now you got a problem. Well, not going to use the timeout. They're going to have to take it. Yes. They got no choice. See, it would have been, you know, I don't know at what level this Tennessee offense is. It's a first-year coordinator. Would have been nice to have 2 calls there, because now you're forced. You can't do it. So now you've got a throwing situation here, and it still saves you a chance for a field goal. Now 16 seconds remaining, and Tennessee out of timeouts. Well, I'm surprised they didn't throw on 2nd down to save that option, so he's going to go either way. Now they go G-gun, don't they? No, Crompton's under center. I see it. Now he moves back. Yep. Foster is alongside. Now Foster in motion. 2 receivers right side. Crompton across the middle. Tipped, incomplete. 4th down. Intended for Stocker. And Ahmad Black was defending. That was such a nice play by Ahmad Black. He did not have the size. He's on the left side, I think, right there. And he comes up and jumps into the play, and it looks like Tennessee will go for it, huh? Well, Philip Fulmer channeling his inner Mike Shanahan. Yeah, 20 points. I mean, yep. 2 field goals. Foster is the running back. The Volunteers go for the touchdown with 12 seconds to go in the half. Play fake. Crompton under pressure. Puts it back in the end zone. It's intercepted. And they're going to run it out. Absolutely. Absolutely smart. Doesn't hurt you at all. There's 2 seconds left in the half. You might as well try to score. Smart play.
Janoris Jenkins, the freshman, with the interception.
I think, and it's easy up here, he had a guy in his face. I think someone got to the back of the end zone that he could have laid it up. That's the only thing I saw. They're trying to slide the fullback out. Yes, they could have thrown it up to the back of the end zone, but nothing really there. Throwing on 3rd and 4th down, they get nothing.
Earlier in this quarter, the Volunteers had the ball for 14 plays, 8 minutes, a fumble at the 3 recovered by Florida. On this drive, 11 plays. They took 4 minutes off the clock, and the interception brings them up empty again.
No, you're right. You know, I mean, 2 turnovers inside the 5. Even if you get stopped, 2 field goals makes it a manageable game.
Those are more than murmurs coming from this crowd of 106,000. Let's go down to Tracy with Philip Fulmer.
Coach, the decision to go for it on 4th and 1.
I wanted to get the daggone touchdown and to get the momentum back. We've been our own worst enemy. The kicking game, we just got to come back and play better.
How do you get this team to believe that they can come back and win this game?
We believe we can win this game.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Well, Philip Fulmer on the opposite side of the emotional scale, Tim Tebow. That's the end of the first half with the score 20-0 Florida. Now let's go back to Tim Brando in our New York studios. We welcome you back to Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. Crowd announced at 6,138. But I must say many have left. A lot of empty seats, particularly in the upper deck as the Gators lead the Volunteers. Here's Caleb Sturgis with the kick. The 2 deep men, Dennis Rogan and Denarius Moore. This will be Rogan near side, a yard deep. And he brings it out. Oh, he's got some room. All the way out to the 42-yard line. Joe Hayden with the tackle, a little bit of a spark to open the 3rd quarter here for the Tennessee Volunteers, who, Gary, wasted so many opportunities.
Yeah, if you're going to beat a good team, you have to at least have a chance to keep it a football game. You can't beat yourself. So, and that's what's been happening. You know, Joe Hayden makes a nice open tackle because Rogan goes why one more guy, he's going to score.
So Rogan brings it out to the 43-yard line, 1st down. And here's the Lennon Creer opens at tailback. So Arian Foster and Montario Hardesty were the running backs in the first half, and Creer gets the first carry of this half. Halftime trends.
Well, you see it 3 turnovers. I mean, those are all points. I mean, Tennessee gets down there inside the 6-yard line twice. Once downs, 1 turnover. Brandon James, of course, had the punt return and the kickoff return with a lot of hidden yardage for Florida that doesn't show up. Tebow has been under control, but remember, Vern, they've only run 23 plays in this game.
Brandon Warren, the tight end, is on the field. Here's Crompton back to play. Oh, it's almost picked off again. And Brandon Warren was the intended receiver. I was talking to Bob Kesling, who's the play-by-play man for Tennessee. And Crompton missed Tuesday's practice with an injured ankle. Kesling says he thinks that ankle is hurting Crompton more than Tennessee has let on.
Okay.
That's the story, and they're sticking to it.
It's a good theory.
Giving you all the news.
I know.
You think all I do is eat hot dogs at the halftime?
Well, he told us he was 100%. I watched him in practice. He was limping a bit. He's bouncing around out there. He can't play with that kind of ankle. He's in trouble in the SEC.
On 3rd down, Crompton in the spread. Back to throw. Little pressure, tucks it. And he's going to be caught short. It'll be 4th down. So a wasted opportunity after the Rogan kickoff return. And Brandon Spikes, number 51, along with Lawrence Marsh, number 90, made the tackle. Now, Harvin and Brandon James go back to return the punt. James already with a 78-yard punt return when they played here 2 years ago. He was a freshman. They were walking out of the tunnel, and Urban Meyer told us, I hadn't made up my mind who was going to return the punts in the game, 18-year-old. And Brandon James came out and immediately began doing the Gator Chomp. And Urban Meyer said, you're my punt returner. He had one of 90 yards in that game that was brought back because of a penalty. This fair catch taken at the 8.
I really like the 2 returners back when a team is trying to pooch, because you're going to catch the ball in the air and keep that ball from going inside your 5. 2 guys don't have to run for it. 1 guy does.
Florida first possession, third quarter, inside the 10. They're up 20-0. Punt return for a touchdown. Special teams have been very big in this game.
Well, yeah, you know, coaches got to help their players too, though, Vern. And that last series, when the timeout was taken by Tennessee, not taking the 3 points, you know, you gotta put points on the board, I think.
Tebow too high. Is that a lateral? No, it's an incomplete pass. Intended for Harvin. Adam Myers-White is out there. Boy, really modest numbers for Tim Tebow in this game.
Yeah, I know, but the big point is he only had 23 plays because of the punt return for the touchdown and long drives for Tennessee. See, here's what I'm saying is the game has changed a little bit because of the new clock rules. You're only going to get the ball 4, maybe 5 times a half. So you got to put points on the board when you have the ball. You just don't have that many opportunities.
David Nelson's on the field. He goes out wide right, number 83. Riley Cooper is out there as well. Second down and 10. Harvin in motion. Tebow keeps to the 11, perhaps the 12-yard line. Wes Brown, number 94, makes the tackle. Well, it's time now to welcome the Duck. Trivia question of the week. Tim Tebow, of course, won the Heisman last year. Archie Griffin, the only player to win back-to-back Heismans. Who else came closest? Interesting. Yeah. 3rd and 7 at the 12. Tennessee's defensive line urging the fans to get behind him now. Make a stop on this 3rd down. Tebow heading to his right. Got him.
Eric Berry, wasn't it? Eric Berry's the best tackler. Wow.
3 and out for Florida. And a little sign of life from the Tennessee defense.
This was supposed to be a shuffle pass inside. It was taken away by Tennessee. The ball was supposed to go inside on the shuffle pass. Watch this. Tebow looks. There's nothing there, so he's forced to keep it, and Berry comes up, takes him low, and takes Tebow down. And I thought Tebow was a little ginger coming off the field there, to tell you the truth.
Here's Chaz Henry, second in Division I football punting.
Wow,
and he booms this one. Gerald Jones at the 32. Gerald Jones down, and so is a flag. Chaz Henry with an average of 48 yards per punt. That one 57. It becomes his 7th punt of this young season in excess of 50 yards.
And 15 more yards also tacked onto it.
Here's Thomas Ritter.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 7 on the receiving team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Each team with 1 possession here in the 3rd quarter. But the big defensive play early on in the 3rd was Eric Berry's tackle of Tim Tebow. We'll be right back. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Aflac. Ask about it at work. Sonic. Coca-Cola Zero. And by Allstate. A nice view of downtown Knoxville here on a beautiful fall afternoon, and time permitting, the TIAA Craft College Football Today Show. Tim and Spencer back in New York. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, Tracy Wolfson with you. The SEC on CBS. 1st and 10, Tennessee. 2nd possession, 2nd half. Arian Foster is the running back.
So I guess there's bad news, good news. You know, bad news is you went 3 and out. Good news is you might get it more often. Right?
True.
Tackle
motion.
can't pick up his hand. Ramon Foster picks up his hand to listen to the quarterback.
Philip Fulmer's a little
Oh,
upset.
he's yelling Ramon too. I'm pretty sure he said, Ramon, what are you doing?
78 offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's just total laziness and lack of concentration. Watch Ramon Foster listen to the quarterback. He turns around and oh, now he can't do it. That you know is that was Philip Fulmer.
5-yard penalty, first down. Crompton steps up, being chased, hit from behind, and then really hit from in front. It was Ryan Stamper, number 41, who delivered the big blow. And we've got a moment to spend with Tim Brando.
Vern, you know, Oregon came from 17 down last week to beat Purdue. They were trying to mount a comeback, but Boise State just keeps answering. Kellen Moore, his third touchdown pass of the day. This one to Vinny Peretta, 74 yards. Vern?
I sense a fly. Second down and 10. Here's Crompton. Handoff left side to Arian Foster. Breaks the tackle. Flag is down. This wonderful run is going to be called back. Joe Hayden with the tackle. And another spark for Tennessee. A 26-yard run will go the other direction.
Yeah, and it was way behind the play, you know, but as an offensive lineman, you never know. I think it was on Scott, might have been Parker. I thought it was 79. Best looking run of the day, obviously.
Holding, 79 offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still second down.
Yeah, you can see the frustration now from the Tennessee players. They got to put it aside.
Chris Scott, the left tackle, number 79. That's 7 penalties for each now. But that one negates a 26-yard run.
Again, Florida's mistakes seem small. Tennessee's mistakes seem huge. Isn't that amazing? Just seems that way, doesn't it?
Itsy bitsy, I
yeah,
think you
they
said.
itsy bitsy for Florida.
Right side. This is Foster again. Within 500 yards, 488 beginning the game to become the all-time ground gainer in Tennessee history. Current leader is Travis Henry. Arian Foster, the senior. Father lives in Tennessee. His mom in Albuquerque, recruited out of California years ago, and he's been a steady presence for this Tennessee team.
3rd and 17 yards.
How do you like your options?
Not good. Unless Peyton shows up real quick.
I'm sure he's watching. 3rd and 17, Hardesty and Foster on either side of Jonathan Crompton. Florida. They back out. Crompton steps up. He's got a long way to run, and he's not going to get there. And here come the boos again. Carlos Dunlap makes the tackle here, number 8.
Self-inflicted wounds, and that's what it looks like right now. It's what I saw kind of coming here. The Tennessee fans just had no heart for this game. They just didn't believe.
Small little indication, but you talked about on the airplane coming in. Last night we were at a very popular dining spot here in Knoxville, and a fervent fan tried to get the crowd going with the VOLS
Yeah, that's
cheer.
right. That's right.
And nobody joined him. He was almost yelling by himself.
Oh, Tennessee was held up pretty well there.
Brandon James, they faked the handoff, and Brandon James across the 50 and inside Tennessee territory. That's a 13-yard return. Brandon James is averaging for the year. He started with an average of 14 yards per punt. Nick Rives made the tackle. Frustration etched on the face of Philip Fulmer. And it's now time for the playbook presented by The Hartford.
Well, Brandon James gets the touchdown, but watch Percy Harvin. He's a star, okay? But he's on special teams. He could take a play off. He does not take a play off. Now watch him. Sprints in front of him. Brandon James gets it, and all of a sudden, number 1 comes back into it. There he is. And he's the last guy that gets in the way to cause that touchdown. So it would have been a nice return. He turns it into a touchdown return. A star going through with his play and his assignment. Nice job, Percy.
Special teams, huge edge for Florida. 6th possession for the Gators now, and 3 of the 6 have started in Tennessee territory because of long returns. Here's Tebow coming left, fires it out. It's caught by Riley Cooper, who's wearing number 11 this year. He was number 86 last year. Cooper, the junior from Clearwater. That number was worn by Jarrett Faison, who elected to transfer, so it became available this year, and Riley Cooper grabbed it.
Excuse me, Vern, when is Florida going to go deep? They haven't done it yet.
No.
I mean, it's just almost like a ticking time bomb here. They're going to do it pretty soon.
Out of the spread. Hand off Moody. Gets a block, gets another block from Murphy downfield. And he's picked up a first down. Eric Berry with the tackle, and D'Angelo Willingham, number 24, was second.
This is the best cut I've seen from a Florida running back in 2 years. Watch Moody read it, jump to the outside, and make the play. That's what running backs have to do. It's not going to be pretty. You've got to find space and then accelerate it to it. That made Florida fans feel really good right there. Moody as advertised on that one.
Emmanuel Moody, as we said, from Coppell, Texas, began his career at USC, transferred, sat out last year. And he gets the handoff up the middle. And let's concentrate again on Tim Tebow and answer the, here, cue the duck. Cue the duck.
Flag.
Trivia question of the week. Archie Griffin, the only player to win back-to-back Heismans. Who else came closest? The answer, Billy Sims, finished second in '79 after he won it in '78. Charles White won that one. How about the whole list? Look at all these guys who won it as juniors or a sophomore. Blanchard, Doak Walker, Janowitz, Staubach, Archie Griffin, Ty Detmer, Jason White, and Matt Leinart. And of course, all of them were juniors. Tebow, the first sophomore ever. Comes left. Whoa, boy, nice open field tackle by Eric Berry. 7:13 to go here. Let's go back to New York once again. Here's Tim.
Vern and Gary, forever Tennessee's tied to UCLA, and Willie Tuatama finds Rob Gronkowski. Again, that's the second touchdown strike between those two. The Bruins are down 24-10 now to Arizona. So Mike Stoops' team getting it done. And again, further, I guess, adding to the misery index in volunteer land.
All right, Tim, thank you. It's 3rd down and 1. Tebow keeps it, cuts, first down at the 20-yard line. That'll be a first down and 10. For more on Tim, away from the field, let's go down to Tracy Wilson.
That's right. We'll talk about Tim Tebow outside the huddle, his future profession, a doctor. Nobody did perform circumcisions this summer while on a mission trip in the Philippines. His favorite movie, Braveheart, appropriate for him. A health, not his guilty pleasure, ice cream. His favorite artist, his buddy Kenny Chesney, who's actually a Tennessee fan. They have a bet on this game, and let's just say if Tennessee wins, Tebow has to sing Rocky Top.
I don't want to hear that, Trace. I do not want to hear it. First down and 10. Tebow hands it off to Harbin up the middle, and Harbin hit up high and knocked down. Just one other note about the Tebow family. His parents, Bob and Pam, are here from the Jacksonville area. 2 brothers and a sister are here. He's got a sister, Christy, and her husband, Billy, who are missionaries in Bangladesh. And there's the Tebow family with the sun hat. And because of modern technology, of which you're very aware.
Yeah, I talked to Bob about that. They might be watching the game on Slingbox.
Yeah, they're watching it in Bangladesh.
It's amazing.
Very early in the morning, isn't it, though?
Yeah, and look at this, what this spread is doing. With Tebow, there's not a lot of guys like him. Controlling the clock with the running game. 3
down with their hands on the ground. Here's Tebow. It'll be 3rd down at the 15-yard line.
See, and Urban Meyer knows, not with the shorter game clock now, only 4 possessions each for a team. a field goal right here kind of puts this game away. And if you kind of look down the schedule for Florida, this is the one game, talent-wise, might be the biggest challenge for them on the road. Of course, you can lose any game on the road. You know, Ole Miss is good. There's a lot of good teams, obviously. But this is the game when you look at their schedule, you go, well, you know, if they get by Tennessee, everybody else at home.
So much has been made of Georgia's schedule, and their preseason ranking is #1. And I think you'd agree that Florida has the much easier road to the SEC championship. That ball thrown to the end zone. Touchdown! Percy Harvin. 15 yards.
You know, there's so much difference in Tebow this year than last year. He knew it was a blitz, and he just kept backing up and buying time. Even though they had a free rusher, he knew it. Man across. Everybody was across. He knew it was man-to-man. He just backed up, bought time, and threw a touchdown pass. That's dangerous. He's learning.
Oh, you made me snort. Here's Jonathan Phillips.
Remember in those horror movies that the monster always starts out, they're scary, but they're not smart. And then they start to learn, okay? They start to learn, they can become worse. He's starting to learn. He reads it. Man, man, man. He knows it. 3 guys on 3 guys. He says, all I got to do is back off here. Man to man, why don't I throw to Harvin? Be hard to cover Harvin, wouldn't it? Uh-oh. He's learning.
You know, Don LaFontaine, who was the voice of all those movie trailers, just passed away about a month ago. I think you've got another career.
No.
Yep. It's coming. Back at Neyland Stadium, and you'll see many of the fans now out of the exits heading for either their cars or the Volunteer Navy down on the Tennessee
What do you
River.
notice there?
I don't see anybody in blue.
No, you're right, because the blue's still there. They're celebrating. They've got like 3 or 4 sections here, and they just pop out of the picture, and they're all there.
You know, a couple of notes. We began the day talking about this great Tennessee record in Neyland, except for this decade. Now, they were undefeated at home last year, but twice this decade, they've lost 3 at home. Once was when they went 5-6, worst record in Philip Fulmer's 17-year tenure here. Here's Rogan again, another nice kick return, out to the 36-yard line. TV's #1 comedy returns with a shocking twist you gotta see to believe. 2.5 Men. The season premiere Monday on CBS.
I probably doubt, Phil, that Tebow's going to have to learn the words to Rocky Top. Do you think that?
No.
Pretty safe?
I think he's very safe. Unless we see a comeback of Herculean proportions. 27-0 right now. And no indication that the Volunteers have the wherewithal to get back in this thing. Here's Lucas Taylor, right side, the catch from Crompton. Another thing about Urban Meyer and his career, they had an open date last week. They opened with Hawaii, convincing win. They opened with the win against Miami. In his career as a head coach, when he's had an open date, whether it's regular season or bowl games, he comes into this one with a 24-3 career record. Gerald Jones in the G-gun formation now. 3 men down, 4-man rush. And a run up to the 40-yard line. Justin Trejo made the tackle.
Well, yeah, I think it was important for Florida. Usually, you know, I buy it. I mean, I sold it a couple years ago, Vern. A win is a win.
Right.
Okay. But I do think for Florida, it was important for them if they were going to win this game. And of course, they've got their sights set. First SEC, obviously, but for a national championship, because UCLA lost so badly, I think it was important for Florida to win this game solidly.
Arian Foster is the running back on 3rd and 7. And that pass is going to be incomplete. Is there a flag? Yes, it comes late. Thrown way downfield, about 20 yards away. And Janoris Jenkins, I think, is going to be called for the interference. Jenkins, the freshman, Had the interception in the first half, yes.
Well, there was 2 officials right there. One, I'm not sure if he was supposed to watch that play, to tell you the truth.
Pass interference, number 29, defense. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
There was one guy running right, looking right at it. Here's an official right there looking right at it. And then the one in the back judge actually calls the play. Probably a pretty good call. Had his hands on him.
On first down, Crompton play fake. Goes deep. He's got Taylor open. And Lucas Taylor makes the catch at the 32-yard line. Major Wright and Jacques Rickerson got there. That's a gain of 22.
Well, Florida fans remember how their secondary gave up yards last year. Last in the SEC in passing yards. So right now they're saying, hey, this game ain't over. That's what Florida fans are saying.
Lucas Taylor breaks off wide to the left side. First down and 10 at the 31. Blitz. Crompton. Gerald Jones tackled by the ankles at the 27-yard line. And we go back to New York once again. Here's Tim Brando.
All right, Vern, if you're looking for a team out of the ACC making a move this year, it's Butch Davis's team in year 3. They're really taking it to Virginia Tech now. Greg Little up the gut 50 yards. Their quarterback, TJ Yates, left the game with an ankle problem. They're one of 3 ACC unbeatens. The other 2, Vern, play tonight, Florida State and Wake Forest. Back to you.
Interesting. Yeah, thank you, Tim. Interesting game there.
Yeah,
North
sure
Carolina, big win earlier this year at Rutgers. And Gerald Jones again is in the backfield. He'll take the direct snap. Jones in trouble. Ouch. Stays in bounds, so the clock keeps running. A.J. Jones and Dustin Doe are there to make the tackle.
See, the G-Gun's okay as a changeup, but Florida's not buying that guy's going to throw the ball.
Right.
So now they're playing the run every time. They're playing the read option. You know, if you're going to run that spread, yes, you got to be able to have a running quarterback. I buy that, but you better be able to throw. You got not much else if you can't throw.
Crompton's back in now on 3rd and 6. Latter stages, 3rd quarter. Looks
Good
left, tucks it.
protection.
He'll run it.
Yep.
To the 5th. Oh, my. Joe Hayden met Crompton up high. Crompton held on to the ball, and he got the first down. 12-yard gain.
There might be a penalty on the end of this one, too. Boy, Jonathan, you got to learn to dodge that guy. He got up in Major Wright's face, but he got up in the face of the wrong guy. Look at that, Joe Hayden. And offsetting penalties again.
Offsetting penalties, yes.
Well, Jonathan, I guess you got to light a spark. You know, I guess you got to try to do something, but it's kind of embarrassing when a corner knocks you down like that.
Never happened?
No, I slid. That's not embarrassing.
No. First down and 10 at the 15 after the offsetting fouls. Play fake, Crompton. Incomplete, intended for Brandon Warren. Number 1. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, you know for sure that Tennessee is sick and tired of hearing about the quit from last year.
Yes.
So they're going to play this thing all the way to the end. And they're going to, you know, I used to say when we were behind like this, I had a number of speeches over the years because it happened a lot. But so just remember, we all got to watch this thing.
Do you want a review?
No, I just had a lot of them. You know,
okay.
A lot of different ones that I could go to. That we're all going to watch this together, and let's not let each other down when we watch this on Sunday or Monday.
2nd down from the 15. Crompton, handoff Arian Foster going left. Scott.
Holding there.
Yeah, it looked like it.
They didn't call it, but it looked like it.
No hanky on the ground.
Nope.
Janoris Jenkins, number 29, has been a very active defender today.
Kind of strung out. Let's watch the left side. Number 78, Ramon Foster. Let's see if he grabs. Oh, yeah, big time grab. I saw it from 150 yards away. Grabbed the shoulder. Foster should have been called.
3rd and 6. 27-0, final 30 seconds, 3rd quarter. Arian Foster is the running back. 3 men wide, 2 to the right. Crompton inside the 5. Touchdown.
Yep.
Luke Stocker, number 88. That's the first touchdown of the season for the talented sophomore, coming off the tough game last week against UAB.
Well, good for Tennessee. That showed it. Now they got to build on that. Remember, they got beat bad by Florida last year, and they made it to the SEC championship. Runs through linebacker Spikes, run through Hayden. Now, was his knee down? Are they going to bring this back? It will be reviewed, obviously.
I think so. Charlie Strong and Urban Meyer looking on. Here's Thomas Ritter.
You know, the ball was absolutely thrown to the right guy. They were playing combo coverages in the back half. The guy who was single covered was the tight end.
Doyle Jackson is the replay official, so he's going to take a close look at this one. Was the knee down? There's the knee.
Yeah, but then the ball goes. It's going to be about on the 1 yard line, maybe, yep, 1 yard line right there. Knees down, and then he plunges it forward.
Luke Stocker, sophomore from Berea, Kentucky. And will it be called back, overturned? Jackson takes one more look at it, as will we. Pretty clear, don't you think, Garrett?
I think so.
Yeah.
Right about the 1.
Not all that clear, apparently. Now the decision, I believe, has been made. No, sir. Well, the SEC officiating crew and the replay official Doyle Jackson upstairs, they use our replays, and we've given you absolutely our best look at it.
Right. I know I'm supposed to talk here, but I really don't have anything to say. I gave my best analysis already. I'm just going to sit and wait now. Kind of on record that it's at the 1, right?
Now Ritter's calling for another of the officials.
This doesn't look good.
Okay, we'll take another look.
Right there, knees down, ball's not, what, 1, maybe 3/4 yard line? You know, I think if the replay official needed to see that, might want to.
Time for the old eyeglasses,
It
huh?
has been determined that the runner was down prior to the ball breaking the plane. It will be first down at the 3/4 yard line. First down.
You don't need glasses.
Well, I kind of do, but not to read, not from that far away, I'll tell you that. Well, whatever. Got it right.
Yep. So it remains 27-0 with 13 seconds, and it is a first down.
Yeah, the clock will run now. It will start, and they, you know, can they get this off before the quarter ends? Might not.
5 seconds to go. Nope.
Nope. See, Jonathan was totally unaware of that. I mean, it's not a big deal. The quarter's going to end. Same thing. But usually you ask your quarterback to be very aware of those things. We get one more play off this quarter.
Well, they've got a 99-yard march. That's the end of 3 with the score for the moment. 27-0. We'll return right after this word from your local station. Welcome back to Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. Tim Tebow has thrown for 1 touchdown. Florida leads it 27-0 as we begin the final quarter. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, and Tracy Wolfson.
Will they sneak it? Yep, they will.
Don't believe he got in.
See, when you're behind this much, I mean, it's, you know, the sooner obviously you score.
Second.
I don't think he did he?
No.
So look at this. They're down to the side of it, by the way, where all the bad memories are down here, too. All right, they're going to push this one in, aren't they? It's going to be sneak formation again, at least. Nothing. Second effort.
Second effort, he got it. Yep. So Tennessee's on the board. Crompton 1 yard, and it's 27-6.
Yeah, they're probably going to go for 2, by the way. You got to play the 27-point game. You're not going to have that many possessions here. Good job by Crompton fighting in because initial surge did not put him in there.
So Philip Fulmer says try for 2.
Yeah, see, 8 times 3 is 24, and a field goal puts you to tie game. I mean, you got to play the numbers. Now, if you don't make it, I can make an argument the other way, obviously.
That's why you're paid so high.
Well,
(27-6). Crompton, the quarterback. Gerald Jones is wide to the right. Taylor wide left. And Crompton is under center. Now Taylor up on the line. Across the middle, tipped, and incomplete.
tight end was wide open. He was in the middle of 14 checkers back there, blocks. You can't get a guy more open than that. Big Dunlap, I think, number 8. Here's the tight end. Watch him slip out to the middle. Look at this. No one covers him. And it's blocked in the middle.
Justin Tratto or Carlos Dunlap.
Yep.
Crompton did get the 6. So we go to commercial with the score 27-6.
And now it's time for our Geico scoring recap.
Jump pass to Aaron Hernandez from Tim Tebow. One of 2 touchdowns. That made it 7-0. And then Phillips a 39-yard field goal to up the score to 10-zip. Brandon James a 78-yard punt return. His second punt return returned for a touchdown this year. 4th of his career. And that gave us a 17-0 score. Then Phillips with his second field goal from 40 yards out, 20-0. And Tebow with his second touchdown pass of the day. It went left. It was caught by Percy Harvin, 27-0. And just moments ago, the quarterback sneak from Jonathan Crompton to try for 2, no good. And so that brings us to our score of 27-6. Florida leading by 21 points. Brandon James is back to return the kick now. And Chad Cunningham will kick off for the Volunteers. Here's Cunningham. Brandon James at the 5-yard line. Very short. Pops it up. Squib kick is taken. And they come to the right. And so Florida gets it back. They don't have much offense in this game so far. Gary, 156 yards that they're up 27-6.
Well, yeah, and they did it a lot of different ways, but they have enough offense. They believe, you know, it's one of those games as a play caller, you think you got enough, you want to avoid a turnover. You don't want to help the other team. Let's make some first downs. Let's play the clock. I think that's what Florida's thinking right now.
Well, they're up 27-6 with good field position as they open another drive. And Tebow again with modest numbers, but he pulls it out of the hat with the jump pass and the fine pass.
Yeah, and Moody's established himself a little bit too, don't you think?
Yes, and here he goes again. Urban Meyer telling us earlier this week that they had a great session with the running backs and the offensive line on Tuesday. He said one of the things he'd noticed about Moody is he got a little lackadaisical in his study when he had to answer only to the offensive the other running backs.
Right.
But when he got the peer pressure from having the line in there, it became a little bit of a different story. Now he limps off. Second down. Harbin is on the field. Hernandez sets up to the left side. Harbin across the 50 to the 49-yard line. Yeah, we'll go back and spend another moment with Tim Brando in New York.
Vern, another couple of undefeateds out of the Mountain West. The Fighting Falcons of Air Force against Utah. Darrell Mack is going to take it in from 8 yards out. 3 minutes left in the third. It's now 16 all. And remember, Utah will have a shot at BYU at season's end and what could be a flying one in the championship game. Vern.
Yes, indeed, Tim. First down and 10 here at the 49. And Moody back on the field. Nice run. Cuts to his right. And fights for an additional yard. Well, the Florida Gators top 10 team. 5 teams ranked in the AP top 10 for the first time in conference history. And here's the list. Southern California on top, followed by Oklahoma. Both have off weeks. Georgia out west tonight at Arizona State. Then Florida convincing so far. Missouri won today. LSU at Auburn tonight. And then down Alabama defeated Arkansas 49-14.
Remember when we were doing that 6 number? You know.
Yeah.
How about Tennessee being the 6th ranked team maybe in the conference? That doesn't go over very well either.
No. This is Chris Rainey, number 3, his first carry of the ball game. Rico McCoy. Now here goes back to 6.
Yeah.
The 6 guys who run.
He's one of them.
4.4 or less.
Rainey's explosive. We haven't even seen what he can do out of Lakeland High School in Florida. He's a blur. You know, Jeff Demps, their true freshman, high school sprinter, actually a track champion, is a blur. And Rainey says, I can run with him.
One of Urban Meyer's stated goals is to become the fastest team in Division I, and they're close.
Put your camera on 15 here, isn't it?
I would think so. 3rd and 1. There's 15, and that's another first down. The Meyer mantra. Take back the swamp. Well, they're now 21-1 in Gainesville. Dominate the big 3. They've got a combined 8-1 record against Tennessee, Georgia, and Florida State, and then fast.
Yeah. And he comes from that tree, the Lou Holtz tree, and you can't argue with it. That kicking game is so important, and play your best players on the punt team. It's a huge play. It's a 40-yard play. Every time there's punt, there's a 40-yard play one way. So if you put your best players out there, you can steal yardage.
Here's the first thing that's gone wrong today, and Tebow, ever present.
Yeah. He's talking to Dan Mullen, who's upstairs, the offensive coordinator, calls the plays for Urban.
Matt Moody is still on the field. And it's first down and 10 with 11:07 to go. Tebow pulls it back. Goes deep in the end zone. There's a bump and a flag. That's pretty easy to tell.
And for Riley Cooper, the touchdown maker down there.
D'Angelo Willingham was halfway up his back.
Stepped all over his feet, crawled up his back, and you can't really blame him. Would have been a touchdown if he didn't. That's what happens when you run the ball inside. All of a sudden, turn one of those fast guys
Pass
loose.
interference, number 24. Defense, 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Right side, right in the middle of the screen right there. They got to bump each other 3 or 4 times. End of the play, he knocks it down, but he had his hands all over him.
And so first down at the 24-yard line.
And Florida eats clock.
Tebow. Moody.
You just can't have better news than Moody emerging and for Florida.
Now let's go back to the studio for this Liberty Mutual update. Once again, here's Tim.
All right, Vern, hokey high. The boys from BPI have scored a couple of quick touchdowns. This time it's Kenny Lewis scoring from 11 yards out. The game is tied at 17. North Carolina has Mike Paulus, brother of Greg, in at quarterback for the injured TJ Yates. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Tim.
You know, we talked about Tennessee's offensive line having experienced all 5 starters return for Florida, including Troutwine, who did not start last year, but he was a starter in 06.
Troutwine missed last year with an injury. Here's the pass.
Unnecessary.
Incomplete.
Yeah.
And a little jawing going on here at the 17-yard line. That's one of the Pouncey twins, Mike Pouncey, number 55.
I think that DeMonte Bolden was blocked by 2 players to the outside, and they went through the whistle, and Bolden was a little upset. I think that's a pretty good play by Robert Ayers on Tebow, but I just don't know why. No need to force that ball. Florida has not turned over the ball this season. Right now, field goal is huge. Time off the clock is huge. They don't need to stick it in.
And official on the near side stops the clock.
Yeah, the timeout by Florida.
Yep. 10:18 remaining. Well, it's not a perfect afternoon. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by the Home Depot, Liberty Mutual, Budweiser American Ale, and by Chick-fil-A. Volunteer Navy on the Tennessee River. Don't forget, later in the game today, the 5-star play of the game presented by Wrangler. Tennessee, one of only 2 stadiums in the country where fans arrive by boat. The other?
Washington.
Husky Stadium. Yep. In Seattle. Here's Rainey, bounces, tries to get to the outside. Chris Rainey with the tackle. Dennis Rogan, number 41.
Shout out to my daughter living out in Everett, Washington.
My old hometown.
I know that.
I'm not quite Jim Nance. I don't have that many hometowns, but I got a couple.
Don't get to see her as often as I like, but she's out there. She's not doing that.
I think they may be among those who are heading out of here, going home. 3rd and 5. Harvin was the intended receiver, and it's incomplete. It'll be 4th down, and I expect we'll see Phillips. Rico McCoy was defending. Now Jonathan Phillips, who's already graduated, he had applied for law school, been on scholarship and hadn't kicked, and he volunteered to leave the team and give up his scholarship. And in a meeting with Urban Meyer, Meyer challenged him and said, why don't you come back and try and accomplish something as an athlete? And so he did.
Instead of becoming a lawyer?
Yeah, well, exactly. I think the point is the world is full of lawyers, but we don't have enough field goal kickers.
Whoa, man.
27 yards.
That's Vern at whatever.com. Send that note.
Oh, dear. Tim Tebow might have completed his work for the day. He's had a pretty effective afternoon.
Yeah, he's not. It's not the spectacular, but I think it's if you're a Gator fan, it's very good news because you've got other people emerging. You've got an offensive line that's blocking now in the run game. Tebow's going to make his plays when he has to, but now you've got a run game. Now you got a better defense. It looks like to me, and Moody, the running back. Boy, that's good news if you're a Gator fan.
Now he's listed as the 4th string running back. Here's the kickoff, and it is taken by Rogan inside the 10. He's out near the 25-yard line, and the tackle is made by Jock Rickerson. Well, the Bengals are off to a bad start. How did it happen, and how do they fix it? Boomer gets the lowdown from Carson Palmer. plus all the latest news and information right at 12 noon tomorrow on the NFL Today.
Yeah, Florida player was knocked down and is still down.
It's John Jones, number 30, the injured man.
Well, I can tell you if I think, I mean, I don't know what the inside of a program as a commentator like being in it, but if I was Urban Meyer, I would want my backup quarterbacks to get some work. What if I'm in a big game, Tebow gets a stinger, and I got to go with my 2 guys? I would want my 2 backup quarterbacks to have some experience in the games.
John Jones, the injured man. Take a look at the left-hand side of the screen.
Right over here, I guess, huh?
Yeah. There he is at the 30.
Looks innocent, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Goes back and grabs his leg, though, right as he does it.
Ground level view of the injury. This is John Jones, number 30. So we'll step aside. John Jones apparently is going to be just fine. .9:23 to go in this SEC encounter. Rivalry that has been very intense since the early 90s. But Florida has had its way with Tennessee each of the last 3 years, and they're in command here. Crompton back to throw. Across the middle, it's caught by Brandon Warren, number 1. He's down at the 28-yard line.
You know, we've watched both of these games, right, Vern? Last year 59-20, this year 30-6. And you wonder where the talent difference is. I mean, last year Eric Age, you know, kind of close to Tebow. I know Tebow was the Heisman Trophy winner, but I mean, this year it seems like a big difference at quarterback. The other big difference is the wide receiver position. This does not seem to match up as well. Terrell Jones is the one guy that I think can run with the Florida receivers. There he got another one. But, you know, there's just not a lot of them. Beautiful run route, perfect throw. Right now, Florida's sitting in that base defense, and Jonathan Crompton's very comfortable. He's got a big arm, got plenty of talent.
Fires this one right side. Montario Hardesty has it out of bounds. And
yep, bring it back again.
Yes, indeed. Holding.
Boy, this, you know, you can lose. People forgive that kind of stuff. Yeah, there you go. But when you self-destruct in UCLA game and now this Florida game.
Holding, number 50 offense, 10-yard penalty.
Josh McNeil, the center, called for this one. Yeah, there's going to be rumbling among them.
Well, there was last year, too. Remember when they got beat down, was it by Alabama or Georgia? Which one? Alabama?
Yes.
And they won their last 5 games and went to the SEC championship. So, you know, they got to fight through it.
Crompton completes it out on the right side. Well, Tennessee's schedule, we'll see them again next week down in Auburn. They opened at UCLA. They were in control of that game until the last 10 minutes and wound up losing in overtime. 1 at home against UAB. They're trailing in this one. They've got Northern Illinois here, then at Georgia. A big game with Mississippi State and Alabama. Second down at 17. Crompton back. Hit. Fires it
nice
as
play.
it's going down.
Yeah,
yes.
nice play.
That's Arian Foster who made the grab. And that's a gain of 15. And Major Wright, number 21, made the tackle. Joe Hayden lost a shoe.
The one thing that sticks out to me for Florida, however, from their 2006 national championship team is, besides Jermaine Cunningham right there, they do not have that bevy of defensive linemen that just attacked everybody in this conference. There's Cunningham, who I think has got experience with 15 starts, and practically nobody else.
Florida's called time, and Joe Hayden did more than step out of his shoe. He's limping. He might have injured a foot or an ankle. So time called, Gators. And now it's time for the 5-star play of the game presented by Wrangler. With the call, here's Mick Huber of the Florida Gator Radio Network.
James running up, making the catch, and James to the 25. James breaks a tackle at the 27, gets to the 30. James to the 35. James to the 40. James to the 50. And there goes James at the 30. There goes James. James will go all the way for another punt return touchdown against Tennessee. He's done it again. Oh my! Brandon James has taken another one to the checkerboard.
McHuber with the call. Brandon James with his 4th punt return for a touchdown. A brilliant outing. He's off to a great start this season.
Yeah, he, you know what? When to have a punt returner, you know, you'd love explosive, but you have to have dependable. When you get dependable and explosive, you've got a great punt return.
2 running backs on either side of Crompton now on 3rd down and 2. Crompton back. Got a man. It's caught. No. Overs. Marky Anderson pulled it out.
I think he did, Vern. I think you're right on. I think that was caught, and Anderson got it out of there. Let's look. Good throw by Jonathan Crompton. You can see his arm ability. Ball was, you know, maybe at 6 inches behind, and then just basically ripped out. And nice job by Anderson that time.
At the 45 on 4th and 2. Tennessee will go for it.
You know, looking at that schedule for Tennessee as we wait for it down here. Their next 2 games at Auburn, at Georgia. You know, forget the one in between.
Right. On 4th down, Crompton comes to his left, pulls it up. It's almost picked off. It'll go over on downs. That was Joe Hayden, whose ankle not as bad as it looked. He stays on the field. And on 4th down, the Gators are going to get it back. Going to be a tough week for Philip Fulmer.
Now, either the Florida fans, again, very poorly thrown. Usually when you're running to the left and you're throwing to a player who's also going to your left, it's hard to throw behind him. And it really is. Now, will we see Tebow or will we see some of the backups?
We will see Tebow at least on this series.
If he runs the ball and gets hit, I may come down out of the booth or go into Dan Mullins. What do you think? Would it be justified?
I think it would be.
Okay.
And I'd pay to watch the confrontation. 7:14 to go. The clock running, and the Gators will try and use as much of it as possible. Now Red Lobster presents today's scholar athlete, Adam Myers-White of the Tennessee Volunteers, a 3.1 grade point average. 3 straight SEC academic honor rolls. Red Lobster's commitment to the investment of our future is shown by donating $1,000 to the University of Tennessee's General Scholarship Fund. Chris Rainey is in the backfield with Tebow. And he's going to be even further in the backfield with Tebow now. Robert Ayers with the tackle.
Yeah, see, Tennessee knows that Tebow's not going to run the ball. They're just ain't buying it, okay? So now you play the spreads a little easier when you don't have a running quarterback. Just ask Michigan. You know, the new clock rules, look at the difference now. We're at 101 plays. Last year in a normal game, you were close to 140 plays, roughly, okay? This is going to be a decline of almost 10 to 13% of plays over the whole season. That's good news for Florida, and I'll tell you why.
3rd and 10. Here's Tebow back to throw, gets a momentary good block, and it's caught for a 1st down at the 32-yard line.
Yep.
Lewis Murphy, number 9, in front of Brent Vinson, number 13. That's a gain of 20 on 3rd down and 10.
Now, I think they still need some tweaking on these new rules. I think that's taking too many plays out of it. But if I was Florida, I'd be happy about it because the less total plays, the more times you can use Tebow. In essence, Florida has 1 less game this year than last year, so that's less hits for Tebow. He has a bigger impact on the game, or the season. Let's put it that way. A bigger impact on the season.
Time has been called.
Yeah, they might review that, huh?
It will be reviewed.
Yep.
And that stops the clock with 5:40 to go. Murphy. Ooh.
Ooh, very close.
Yeah, it is very close. Yep. Here again, is there enough to overturn the initial ruling? Might be. No?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay.
Well, there's a little black mark on the white there. If you notice that, I don't know if it happened afterwards. You know, here's an interpretation. Is it overwhelming or what?
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It was a good catch, first down.
That was expeditious.
I think that's the way you got to do it. If it's not obvious, go with what's on the field.
Right.
Comes down. Very close, but there's a guy standing there. We're paying, what, Rocky? What'd you make? 20,000 a weekend to do this? He's saying lower. Okay.
Oh gosh. SEC official Rocky Good is with us.
Yeah, but Rocky with the new money. I think if you get the percentage of the gross, you know.
That one is tipped. Intended for Denarius Moore, and Eric Berry got in front of it.
You wonder
Deontay Thompson, I beg your pardon.
Excuse me. You wonder if now Urban is trying to give Tebow his plays for his Heisman stats. You know what I mean?
Tebow's streak now 144 straight attempts without an interception.
This always makes me queasy. I talked to Urban about this just last week about the Miami deal when he had Tebow in there late at the end of the game, and Urban said, listen, I did not think my #1 unit played well, and I wanted to give them more snaps.
I thought his field goal kicker was particularly rusty in that
right.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Inside the 15 and down to the 11-yard line goes Chris Rainey, and Rico McCoy made the tackle. That's a gain of 19.
Now look at this. This is a guy that can't even get on the field for Florida, and he'd be a top 3 receiver for Tennessee. So there's a difference in the talent in this game. You know what I read? Did you read that Tennessee has the #1 recruiting budget in college football?
I did see that, yes.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Well, and of course, Fulmer has made the point over the years that they have to recruit nationally. Here's the handoff to the 10 inside the 9. That, so many players in Florida.
Yes.
And he's got to go well outside
Absolutely.
this area.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be critical. I think what is true, Philip Fulmer has to recruit much larger territory. It's expensive. $2 million.
Well, the new contracts with CBS will help each school, I think. I know. And by the way, Mike Slive, the commissioner, was here today, headed back to Birmingham.
Well, you know the Tennessee players, they're not going to quit here. If I was one of them, I would be hitting someone as hard as I could.
You know, the charges from Brandon Spikes that they quit last year.
That is their third
really reverberated
this will be
throughout this Tennessee football team. Time called. Well, Neyland Stadium's taking on a semi-empty look as we await the TIAA Craft College Football Today program, and time will permit. Florida's going to win this one big. They currently lead 30-6. They've got Ole Miss, and then Arkansas, LSU.
Coming down there, yeah.
Right.
You know what? I predicted at the beginning of the game, Vern, that each team would have the ball 8 possessions. It looks like, there might be a 9th, but it's 8-8 right now, and basically the game's over. That's down considerably from last year, when each team had 11 or 12 possessions.
Second down. Rainey tries to bounce it outside. Nice pursuit. And he's tackled by Demetrius Morley, number 7. Let's take a look at this Gators schedule now. Carl Moore gets into a little conversation. They beat Hawaii. They won against Miami. Ole Miss on the 27th, then at Arkansas. LSU at home, Kentucky, Georgia. At Vandy, South Carolina at home.
Well, here's what I look at.
Yep.
This is the year, and I've only been here, this is my 3rd year, and I've kind of figured this thing out, taking me 3. This is the year that Florida would play at Georgia. So they really only have 3 road games in the SEC because that Georgia game is in the Gator Bowl. And then you look who they play, Arkansas and Ole Miss. That's pretty, you don't get much better than that in this league.
Here's Tebow, still on the field and hit as he goes out of bounds.
Just don't agree with this. I have to say, I don't care about the running up the score thing. Doesn't matter to me. But I just don't understand my quarterback getting hit in a game that's over.
I beg your pardon. I'm sorry. Are you okay?
Man. I'm surprised he didn't stop for a picture there. 4th and 4. This is a tough one. You know, whether you kick a field goal or whether you go for it, you could be accused of running it up either way.
Absolutely.
But with 15 in the game,
flag thrown.
Delay a game.
Yep.
Dead ball. Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Fair to say that Urban Meyer and Philip Fulmer are not the closest of friends in this league.
Yeah, it looks like it. But, you know, the interesting part of that Spikes quote about him quitting, Philip Fulmer's response was, that comes from the coaches usually, not the players. That said volumes.
4th down and 9. Here's Tebow. That's Rainey. Goes right.
Yeah, that was a good call.
Yeah.
That's the call I'd make right there.
Well, the two men met at pregame. That passes for a fairly extensive conversation between the two.
Well, you know, I mean, they don't have beach houses together anywhere, but, you know, that's pretty cordial.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, Urban Meyer has a quarterback, and now he's building more weapons around him. He's no way, anyway, Tim Tebow gets the stats he had last year. Not even going to be close. But the offense might be more dominant than last year.
Crompton hands it off to Arian Foster. And let's go down to Tracy Wolfson for more on the coach of Florida.
Guys, Urban Meyer says every game, if they execute his plan to win, they will come away with the victory. Well, let's take a look. Play great defense, check. No turnovers, check. Red zone success, check. Great kicking game. I'd say they executed pretty well today.
Yep.
Yeah, that's 4 checks.
And that's so true. When you've got a good players and you do the basics, then you win.
Crompton back again. That one caught by Hardesty, and he's out to the 17-yard line. Appears he will be short of the first down, and it will be.
Well, the whistle blew and the ball came out. Yep.
Troy Epps made the hit.
So where does Tennessee go from here?
Well,
you know, we somewhat counted them out last year. Remember that after that game, most people who saw that 59-point game by Florida said, where will Tennessee go? They came and played in the SEC championship. Can Fulmer do it again?
Well, the Vols are going to drop to 1-2, 0-1 in conference play. And they've still got to go to Georgia. Florida takes a big step. Back in the 90s, Steve Spurrier handed Philip Fulmer and the Volunteers 5 consecutive losses in the series. And Urban Meyer is going to become the first coach for the Gators since then to win 4 in a row against Philip Fulmer.
You know what's tough for Philip Fulmer, Vern, is I don't know, nothing disparaging about anybody. I don't know if Tennessee beats Ole Miss or Vanderbilt or anybody today. They let alone Florida. That's how badly they played in this football game.
Chad Cunningham is on to punt. Had one returned earlier. This one is very short. See what kind of bounce he gets. He doesn't get any. It goes out of bounds and will be marked at the 49-yard line. 32-yard punt for Cunningham, who's playing the first 5 games of the year because Britton Colquitt suspended 4 or 5 games because of an alcohol-related incident, actually driving under the influence.
And that's 2 out of 3 games that the punter, one time he goes somewhat the wrong way to get that punt blocked in that game. And now today he punts somewhat a short punt that it wasn't his fault on this one. But 2 games, the punt team has cost Tennessee.
Look who's putting the helmet back on.
Yep. Well, surely he'll take a knee.
Tebow will go the distance today. And they're going into the victory formation, so he will take the knee. Urban Meyer's going to go to 25-3 as a head coach with an open date before an opponent. He wins 4 in a row against Tennessee. For the first time since the series started in 1916, the series is even at 19 games apiece.
And for all the question marks about Florida in the first game against Miami, remember the chatter in that game was that Miami had the young team against Florida. If you looked at the roster, actually Florida was younger than Miami. But there was still chatter about about Florida. But now I think this victory is going to put Florida in the conversation again.
Know what else they've done today? No turnovers.
3 straight games.
3 straight. A little perfunctory handshake at midfield.
That was a Bill Belichick shake. There's no doubt about that.
It was indeed. Tebow leads his team to victory. Brandon James had a great day on special teams with a punt return and a couple of fine kickoff returns. And Brandon James is the DirecTV player of the game. 92 punt return yards, 1 for a touchdown, 52 on kick returns. His 4th punt return for a touchdown, 2nd against Tennessee, and he's with Tracy Wolfson.
That's right. Special teams huge today. Brandon James, punt return for a touchdown to really get it all started. Tell us how he got it done.
We just came out and we've been working on it all week. We had a great scheme set up. And, my guys did a great job blocking. I just caught the ball, made a couple guys miss, and took it in.
You got to talk about the 2 returns, though.
It was a good job blocking. All week we work on those kind of things, and the guys out there, they put so much pressure on me, so I just try to live up to the expectations and make a big play.
What does a solid win like this mean for the team on the road against Tennessee, a rival?
I feel like it shows our growth a little bit. Last year we were kind of young, but I feel like this win kind of gives a little bit of momentum and shows our growth, and we're just taking a stride.
Where can this team go from here?
We got to take it day by day, practice by practice, and only get better.
You are definitely Coach Meyer's player. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, Tracy, thank you. 30-6. And another look at the punt return, 78 yards. As Gary noted during one of the replays, one of his sidekicks en route to the touchdown was Percy Harvin. Florida wins it big. They controlled from the very beginning of this ball game. And so from Neyland Stadium, for Tracy Wolfson and Gary Danielson, I'm Vern Lundquist. Tim Brando is going to be along with the TIAA Cref postgame show shortly.